When it comes to designing a really good dashboard, I have generally seen people adding more color, more shadows, and generally more artwork to make the dashboard look beautiful, which by the way acts counterintuitive and just adds more noise to the dashboard rather than actually making it meaningful and professional. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 very effective and simple visual techniques that are not only going to make your dashboard look slick, clean, and professional, but they'll also add a lot more meaning and insight to the dashboard that the end user is going to truly appreciate looking at. Are you ready? Let's start. The very first technique that I'd like to speak about is data bars using conditional formatting. I'm quite certain that you would have known this technique, but I want to talk about a variation of that. Take a look at the simple visual that I'm working with, which is where I have year, month, store name, total sales, and the gross margin percentage. Now, sure enough, you can click on the box right here, go over to the total sales, right click on that, and then in conditional formatting, you can pick up something called as a data bar. The only trouble with that is that the data bar and the value are all going to be fitted inside of the single cell, which might just overlap with the value or make it look cluttered or things like that. What you can do is you can have an exclusive data bar as a column. Let me show that to you real quick, and it's ridiculously simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a simple measure called sales chart, and that measure is literally going to reference the sales measure that we already have it in the model. So I'm just going to write a very simple DAX code right here, and I'm going to say that, hey, you know what? I would like to have a bar, which is right here perhaps, and the bar is only going to come if you see the name of the store, which is right here. If you see the total value or the annual total value, then I don't really want to see the bar. And that's what this measure says. I'm going to commit on this particular measure, and then I'm going to go ahead and drag this measure off to my visual, which is going to sit right after total sales. So I'll click on add, and then I'm just going to add the sales chart measure, which is right here, and I will add that over to my visual right here. Now I'm just going to move that up on the top, and now I'm going to start to apply conditional formatting to this one. I'm going to right click right here, and I'm going to say conditional formatting. Again, I'd like to have a data bar, and then I don't really want to have values as well. I just want to show the bar only. That's it. And I can just choose a lighter color, perhaps maybe blue or something. And if there is a negative bar, I don't really want to show that. So I can just maybe say white. And then the axis, which technically means the line that is going to hold the bar, which is this particular line, what color that is going to be. And that line is not going to be black because that is going to look untidy. And I will just remove that line by using the white color. I'm going to click on OK. And that is what I get. Sure enough, I can remove the chart title right here, and I can have nothing here, and your table looks something like this, which is where it's a lot more cleaner and it's a lot more slicker. Next to the number, which is sales, you're also seeing some bars right here. You can quickly identify that which one is the largest value amongst these months. You know what's the hardest thing about learning Power BI? It is translation. The ability to translate the DAX logic or the M logic or data modeling into your own scenario, your own industry with your own data is really hard. And if you learn that, that is when you have truly learned how to use Power BI into your own business setting. And that is the reason why we are launching Power BI case studies. These are case studies in HR, in logistics, in finance, in supply chain, every possible industry that you can imagine. We're going to build a case study right from scratch, understand the moving parts of that industry, how the data works, how the business logic works, and then how do you transform that into a working solution that you can implement into your own business setting. The next tip that I'd like to speak about is not used that often and is of tremendous value, and those are tooltips. If you take a look at the chart that I'm working with, I have a slicer, and against every single store, the bar represents the nothing but the gross margin. How much margin have you made on that particular store for all the products sold? Now, sure enough, what you're seeing in front of here is nothing but the standard tooltip, which is available by default, but you can also customize this. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways of customizing the tooltip. Now, consider some important information that you'd like to show that is going to be helpful when somebody is taking a look at the gross margin per store. Perhaps what has been the growth rate. So what you can do is everything that comes to your mind that is going to be helpful along with the gross margin per store, you can drag that in the tooltip. How do you do that? Click on the visual, go over to the suggested visual pane right here, and under tooltip, you can add that. So I'm just going to click right here on the add data, and I've already built a measure called the growth, which is right here. I'm just going to click on that, and the growth measure appears right here. Now, when you hover the mouse on top of this, you're not only going to see the gross margin, but what has been the growth over last year, and that is kind of super helpful. Now this, by the way, is the standard way of using tooltips. There is not much customization that you can do it right here. They will just appear in the form of a simple card visual right here. I'm now going to teach you that in case you want to customize this particular tooltip right here, how do you do that and make it anything that you desire? Let's just start with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new page in here, and I'm going to call this page as my tooltip page. On the blank page that we have created, we are going to now turn this particular page into a tooltip page. That means whatever visual that we are going to make here are going to be considered as a tooltip when you hover on any chart. So I'm going to go over to the canvas settings. In canvas settings, I'm going to go ahead and change the type from a custom page to a tooltip page. And you can see that the page actually gets a lot smaller because when you hover on top of any particular bar or chart, you don't really want to have a full paged sized tooltip. You really want to have a small tooltip. So I'm going to zoom in by holding the control key and rolling the wheel of the mouse ahead, or you can just go here and also zoom in. And now I will start to create some tooltips right here. So let's just say that I'd like to create top 5 products and their sales along with the gross margin that you have. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over to the products table. And in the products table, I am just going to go ahead and add the product name right here, which is SKU name. And next to the SKU name, I am going to have my total sales. And alongside the total sales, I'd also like to have the gross margin value, which is right here. Now, there is a lot of fluff on this particular page right here, which I'd like to remove. So I'll go over to the format and I'll say the first thing that I do not really want to see is the title. The fonts are a bit too big, so I can just maybe reduce the font size. The fonts are just seeming big. They're not as big as you think they are because we have like massively zoomed in. So I'm going to go over to the grid, and in the grid, I will say that I'd like to go to options, and the global font size is 10.5, which I will probably change it to 9. I will resize the column width slightly, and that looks something like this. And I will also probably turn off the auto size of this particular table so that it doesn't keep sizing automatically. So there happens to be something called as auto size width, which I will turn it off so that it doesn't resize as the columns move. Right now, the table literally shows you all the products, their total sales and gross margin. That is not what I'd like to show. I'd like to show only top 5 products. So on this particular visual, I'd like to apply a top 5 filter. I can do that using simply the visual panel right here. In the visual panel, I'm going to go over to the SKU name, and on that SKU name, I will apply a simple filter, and I'll say that, hey, I don't really want to have basic filtering. I'd like to have the top N filtering. I'd like to keep top 5 products only, and I'd like to keep them in the order of total sales, and I have to drag total sales in the by value section right here. So I'm going to go over to the data and find my total sales measure, which I will drag it in the by value, and I will just click on apply filter. Sure enough, you're just going to see the 5 products which are the highest total sales value products, which are right here. Or you can do that with gross margin as well, howsoever you'd like to do that. Now I'd like to sort this particular table by gross margin. That means the highest margin products are going to be up on the top, and so on and so forth. And that is my little table that I have created that I want to act it like a tooltip. Now I'm going to come back to page number 2 after I have created the tooltip. And when I hover my mouse on top of any particular bar, I'd like to see that tooltip filtering down to this particular store, to this particular year, and showing me the top 5 products for that store. How do you do all of that? So I would like to connect this chart to the tooltip page. Click on the chart, go over to the format. In the properties right here, under tooltips, you're going to say that, hey, right now it is connected to a report page, but I'd like to connect it to a page that I have created, which is nothing but the tooltips page. And that is going to be under the page, you have something called as tooltips. Once you do that, everything is good. And now if you happen to hover on top of any bar, you're going to see that you get to see the top 5 products of that particular store right here, and they are literally going to change values as you hover on different bars. So right now, if you take a look, the total margin of this particular store is about $400,000, and of those $400,000 in the entire year of 2003, 148 came from just the 5 products. There is just one single caveat when you're designing these cool things inside of Power BI, is that in the moment when you're designing it, they might look cool, but when you have a lot of visualizations on the screen, it might look a bit cluttered because every single time you just want to go over and hover on top of the bar for a simple innocuous reason, the tooltip is going to appear, and you wouldn't want that to happen. So I have built a simple technique through which you can turn off the tooltips even if you have created it, and you can also turn it back on should you want to see that. I suggest that you take a look at that video after you watch this one. My next trick has to do with creating really good looking card visualizations. Now, card visualizations are almost in every single dashboard or report that you make. They are going to give you the glance of the big numbers, the most important numbers right on the top of the dashboard, and that is going to be super easy for the end user. But the standard visuals or the standard card visuals are not that great. I mean, you have to click through a lot of buttons to be able to customize that. For instance, in 2003, if I want to take a look at three numbers, I want to take a look at total sales, what has been the growth and what has been the last year number, then they probably appear like this, and I am using at the moment the new card visual, which is right here. Now, sure enough, the card visual is going to give me a lot of properties to customize that particular visual, but it's going to be a nightmare of the clicks that I have to work through. What you can do instead is that you can use something called as an HTML visual, which is where we can prompt Claude to make a visual for us, given these three metrics or measures, and we'll be able to make a beautiful card visual with no clicks whatsoever. Let me show you how. So I'm going to open up Claude and I'll tell Claude that I have three visuals: total sales, growth over last year, and my last year sales number. And I would want you to design a click and a slick HTML visual in Power BI and also change the growth percentage color depending upon whether growth has happened or you've fallen as compared to the last year. I give that prompt, and what Claude actually does is it gives me this look and feel of the visual. That means this is how the visual is going to look. All three numbers combined in the single visual, which is where you can see the growth percentage or the drop percentage. And you're also going to see that it has given me this measure, which essentially uses this HTML script inside of that. Now, for the moment, I'm going to copy this particular script or the DAX measure and start to add a custom visual in Power BI, which is where I can dump this measure. Let me show you. So I'm going to go over to Power BI, and in the visualizations panel, I'm going to go ahead and I'll start to add like a custom visual. So I'll just click on Get More Visuals. In the Get More Visuals box that opens up, in here, I'm going to search for something called as HTML. You can see that we have this visual, which is where we have HTML Content Light, developed by Daniel Marsh-Patrick. Great visual. You can just add it. It's a certified visual, so hopefully you should be able to use that in your org. I've already added this visual to my library and it shows up right here, and I'm just going to close that real quick. Now, once you add this particular visual onto the screen, you're going to see that you don't get many options like just values, granularity, and tooltips. That's all that you get. So in the values section, I will dump that visual that I just copied from my Claude. That is the code that I copied from Claude, just as the way it is. Just make sure that the names of the measures are correctly referenced as compared to what you have in the model, and then we are good to go. Press enter, and this is now added to your Power BI. Now, the only thing that I'm going to do is literally take this particular visual or this measure and I will drop it in the visual right here. So click right here in the value section. I will call that HTML visual, which is right here. Click on OK, and we get a visual like that. Now, sure enough, it does have the title and everything. I can just remove that, make the visual cleaner, and that is my pretty little visual all tucked up in a single visualization. Now, should the values change or drop or hike, it's going to actually show you the values nicely. Now, in case the values actually change, they become negative or positive, this number is going to change automatically, and that is beautiful. My next trick has to do with custom formatting for a measure. Not a lot of people use that, but it's super helpful. So if you take a look at the current visual that I'm working with, it's a bland visual, and all that I have is store name, the quarters, and the year, and I'm taking a look at the sales of that particular store in that particular quarter. Nothing special about it. But let's just say that I want to make this particular visual more insightful. Then what I can do is I can add special formatting to the sales measure. Now, I don't really want to alter my current sales measure, which is my total sales measure. I want to create a new measure and show you the technique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that total sales measure out of the visual for just a quick second. I'm going to make a measure called sales new, and then the only thing that I'm going to do is just reference it back to the total sales measure. So I'm just going to call it as my total sales reference, press enter, and we are literally good to go, and that measure has been added. Now, you're not going to see any different results once I drag the sales new measure off to my visual. The results are going to be pretty much the same. But for this particular measure, which is exclusively used in this visual, I can apply some custom formatting. Let me show you how. So I'm going to click on the sales new measure, and up on the top, I will change the format of this from general to a dynamic format. Once I do that, you can see that here I get now two options. I can edit the measure in the formula bar, or I can edit the format using DAX code in the formula bar. Now, all that I would want to do in terms of formatting is a very simple attempt to show a negative sign if the sales has dropped as compared to the last year, and that's about it. I don't want to show anything else, just a slight indication of how are these numbers as compared to the last year. You can go as fancy as you would like, but I'm just trying to keep it minimal and give you the idea as to how do you customize that. So apart from that, two empty apostrophes here, I can just maybe go ahead and start to write my code. I'm just saying, hey, apart from the empty string, please concatenate the growth less than 0. If that happens to be true, then I'd like to show a little drop down sign, and then I would like to show the very number, which is right here. If I now press enter, you're going to see that you get these nice little drop down arrows right here in the visual, and it indicates that the Trendy Trove store has been dropping in sales as compared to the last year, and here as well. Here it did not drop as compared to the last year, and hopefully it grew, and so on and so forth. And these kind of small indications can just enhance the visual quality rather than just making some random decorative color around the table. My fifth technique is a bit tricky, but it's super helpful. Let's just say that you're trying to make a chart, and the chart has a lot of values. Now, most essentially, a lot of the smaller values are unimportant, and you'd like to group the chart into top 2 or 3 or 5 top n values and bucket the rest into an others category. Now, because that's a longer one and you need more time with me, I suggest that you watch that video next and improve your dashboard and your reports.